It's Leah and Jesse. Welcome back to The Golden Thread, the podcast where we share and discuss responsive relationships and connecting with children.
Today we're in the same room together. Yay! And we are excited to answer some questions that we've received from our peers and listeners.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm going to close the laptop.
I think that's a good idea.
Distracting to us the whole time.
Probably. Easily distracted. That's us.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
It's so exciting to be in the same room.
It was really exciting. Yes, I'm thankful for that. Because how long has it been since we've been in the same room? Was it like this time last year?
I think it was a year ago for statewide.
Okay. Yep. All right. Yeah. So a long time coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mentioned statewide already. We're together, yes, because we get to do training with the network of people who run the responsive care classes for professionals across the state, and I love this. It's been working up to this. I've been having a flare up.
You've been having a flare up. It's a heck of a flare up.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
It's okay. But it's been working up to this, and everybody's been like, it's going to be so nice because you get to be around people who are as enthusiastic as you. And I'm like, I know, you're right. And my partner says, you always come back re-energized. And so I'm so excited for this. So we thought we'd take advantage of having this time together to kind of do like an off of the trail little episode here.
Yeah, I think we're taking a moment to just pause. We've heard from a few people, mostly our peers, but a few listeners who have questions, who want to know a little bit more about the Golden Thread. And we thought we would take advantage of this opportunity to be together and to answer some of those questions and talk through it. Kind of give you a little bit more of that inside scoop. What do you call it? Baseball behind the scenes?
Yeah, behind the scenes, inside baseball.
Inside baseball, yeah.
Even though neither of us are really
We're not baseball people.
I do want to start off, I know it's not on our list, but I do want to start off saying that we have gotten feedback from our colleagues and peers. It's very positive, and that just makes me pretty excited. Yes. Also, I've had parents ask about the podcast.
Really?
Because we do conferences pretty regularly.
Okay.
Like little touching base with parents, and I've mentioned that I do the podcast, and I've been onboarding a lot of parents because the new room is opening. So I get a whole new set of babies, a whole new set of families. I love new families. Anyway, so I've been able to share it, and they're questioning, they're listening, and
that's so exciting. So exciting. I have kept my sharing pretty minimal so far because I really, especially with your flare-up, right? I am worried that the more people who are listening, the more pressure we'll put on ourselves, and I don't want that. And so I've been trying to
I think that we just, and I hope that listeners can too, have to come to terms with the fact that we can't. We can't put that pressure.
We are humans.
Yeah.
This is like a fun part of our lives, but it is not the whole sum of our lives. And so we're fitting it in where we can.
Yeah.
And taking care of ourselves first. And that is something I think we'll always do.
Yeah.
That'll be a priority.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, why the Golden Thread?
Why the Golden Thread? Many years ago, I was with some professionals, and we were planning for one of our foundations courses, which is where we take folks who are interested in providing this training across the state. And you know what? I can't remember if it was a foundations course or if it was for the coaching course. Either way, for one of the courses, we were talking about how responsive care is the golden thread that runs through everything that we do. And so when Jesse and I were talking about the podcast and talking about possible names like Tea Time
or EQIT,
Jesse's Tea, all of those things, we were talking about it, and I think I just really love the idea, especially as you've heard already in the first couple of episodes where we're talking about what does responsive care mean to us. Like, for me, responsive care is just a part of who I am, and so there's traces of it in everything that I do. And so I think that's why it resonated with me. I don't know. How about you?
I feel the same. Like, when we were going with the puns, of course you gotta love a pun.
Gotta love a pun.
Gotta love a pun. But you brought up the idea of the golden thread and how responsive care just intertwines through everything. And immediately I was like, yeah, like that's kind of what I say to everybody anyway. When I'm introducing my philosophy of care to parents, I talk to them about how responsive care is just how I am, and it is just how I will be with babies in the room. Actually now it gives me shivers too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just works. It's just right.
It is just right. Yeah.
And we're hoping to get a really cute, the golden thread, like profile picture with sparkly golden thread.
It's gonna happen.
It'll happen eventually.
It will. Yeah.
So, and that kind of, I think, leads into my question of like, when we are thinking about what we want to share in this resource, how are we, like, I know how we're doing it because we spend time doing it together, but like, what is kind of the process in your head about like differentiating the curriculum from the resource that parents are going to be able to use?
I think for me, and I've been reflecting on this the past month or so, because I'm like, I just want all family members to be able to just take the course, because that would just be the best. And right there just isn't enough time in the day or money to make that happen yet. Someday there will be. And so I think for me, the idea that we can talk about the concepts of why these things are important to infants and toddlers, and understanding the world from a child's point of view can still, even just hearing this conversation, I think can still prompt change and can prompt wondering in a parent's or an important adult in a child's life, and can help them to maybe look at the world in a slightly different way and think about how they might be able to apply some of these things on their own. Yes, I think that's what I'm going to say.
How and like what fits? Like what feels good when they try?
Well, I think obviously Jesse and I are drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Right? We did class. Now we're so passionate. We do all the things, right? And it hasn't dimmed for me at all in the many, many years that I've been doing it. And so what I see, what I saw in myself as a professional, taking care of babies and supporting their families through the really big milestones they were going through their first year, just discovering themselves as parents and really getting to understand this role that they have and to acknowledge the expertise that they have about their children. And I think also for me, that parallel process of having this aha moment of like, oh, but I'm a parent also. And the feeling of like, oh my gosh, I saw my child do that. And instead of stepping in, I stepped back and I listened and I watched, and I had the opportunity to understand my child in a whole new way and connect with them on a deeper level.
Yeah, that's because for me, like, we talk a lot about the EQ buffet and, encouraging the professionals that we are facilitating for to pick and choose what's going to work in their space. But for me, in the end, I'm all in. And I feel like as people get more comfortable with responsiveness and more comfortable with approaching a situation in their home or their space by first understanding the child, and then also themselves in that space, I feel like they'll be all into.
Yes.
Like, it's just kind of how I feel.
And I agree, right? And we talk a lot about our course, which, again, like, we're not here to say, you must take this course. You can't, and we get that, and that's okay. Like, we're here to say the concepts in this course are applicable to anybody. And what we find is that even folks who are signed up for the course and who are forced to be there for whatever reason by the end of the course, they've bought into. And so that's like the beauty of the podcast, is that you are going to have an opportunity to hear all of these different things, and perhaps one thing that you hear throughout the whole course of the podcast might shift something for you. And we're pretty sure that might happen. Maybe not now, maybe in a couple years, but something will shift, and we think you'll be all in as well.
So kind of along the same vein of exploring what we're doing with the podcast, turning it from curriculum into a resource, something for people to get their feet wet, for important adults to become all in with us. I'd like to point out a few other resources online that focus on responsive care in the home. My favorite one is Mama Cusses. I love her. Have you seen her?
I have not seen her.
Her name is Gwenna. She's written a book even.
Oh, really? Okay.
And on YouTube, she's called Mama Cusses. And I love her approach of, I'm at home. This is a home setting. We are humans. Like, life is gonna life, you know?
Okay.
So she even, like, does, like, these funny, like, shorts of recipes for when you don't want to be preparing food for your kids. And she's just like, dump this in, dump that in, throw it in the oven. It's so fun. And it really, like, brings that sense of, she is a person in the world with these little people in her life, you know? And she is doing what she can to meet her children where they're at and, like, give them that responsiveness, give them the supports they need. And she kind of had the same sort of experience as you, just not as long of a gap.
Okay.
She's got 2 littles.
Okay,
I think
gotcha.
they're 5 now, and a teenager.
Okay, yeah.
The littles are getting responsive, and the teenager didn't get as much.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I
That's
love her.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering, now that you say that, I'm like, oh, maybe I do follow that person on Instagram, because it sounds kind of familiar.
She's wonderful and happy.
Okay.
And I think she is unabashedly human.
Which I think is super important. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
say
parents are human, turns out.
all of us
Not robots.
are human, and we're all doing the best we can with what we have, right? Yeah. I think someone that I like to follow and just thoroughly enjoy what they do, they're called the occupational therapist. And sorry, the words are a little challenging today. I just so appreciate, again, the humanness, the realness, this is what we're experiencing today at our house, and this is how I handled it, just in the moment. And I think what is so great for me is really sensing that reflective, that I'm pausing, and what do I know in my brain? Even though my brain just wants to be like here and pulling my hair and doing all of this, what do I know in my brain that they need in their brain? And that pause, I think, is really, really powerful. And I so appreciate. And they're neurodivergent, and they have all sorts of stories to share.
And they're professionally trained, right?
They are professionally trained. Yeah.
That's exciting, too.
And everything that I've ever watched or read from them, it brings me joy and makes me think about things in a new way and think about being responsive. Yeah.
And I feel like, and maybe, of course, my perspective is going to be biased on this, but I'm kind of an online person. And I feel like these resources have been kind of a more recent phenomenon, and there's been lots of other resources for parents in various ways of parenting. We've brought up, like, permissive parenting, or thinking about,
what
was that other one I just said?
You said it. We talked about, like, some Montessori philosophies, permissive parenting. What was it that you said? I should have wrote it down.
Gentle parenting.
That's it.
Lots of that.
We are not gentle parents.
We're not
No.
gentle. I would never. I can't.
I don't think I could do that.
No.
Which is funny, because I think many folks listen to how I parent and think it's gentle parenting.
Right.
And I think that's the difference for me, is, like, there's this framework of what expectations are, And within that framework, there is immense flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, okay, that's how you want to do it, that's fine. But the framework is always there.
Yeah.
And I feel like with gentle or permissive parenting, that is something it doesn't necessarily have.
For me, I feel like anything I've seen about gentle parenting takes like a step toward meeting the child and then just stops.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like a huge part of responsive care, especially in the spaces that I'm in, is going and meeting those children where they're at. Like you can't just stop.
You can't stop, right? You have
In
to
my
serve
opinion.
and respond.
Yeah, exactly.
And have this interaction together.
Yeah.
You can't just let that ball roll
But I can
off.
see how when I am, because I have seen it in my professional spaces, I've seen how when I am giving the toddler brain enough toddler time to think through what's happening, people think I'm being gentle. People think I'm not upholding boundaries in the classroom. People want to jump in and like coerce cooperation.
Yep, absolutely. That is
I'm
something
not being gentle. I'm just giving a toddler brain time.
Right. And I think that's, a great example of why we're doing this, because we want folks to understand what is actually developmentally appropriate for a toddler's brain for process time, right? And also as a parent of a child who takes some time to process, and it is an uncomfortably long amount of time to process sometimes, even for me, who is a trained professional who knows how to do wait time with adults. Sometimes it's too long. And same thing, folks will be like, why you need to speed that up. But that's how his brain works. And I know that because I've spent years connecting with him and waiting for him to tell me when he's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we would love for all people who have to or want to or get to be with infants and toddlers to have that understanding and that patience and that desire to be like Jesse and to meet them where they are. Yeah.
It's funny because I'm really good at wait time with toddlers. I'm so bad at wait time with adults. Like I'm not impatient with adults, but I feel that social pressure of filling in the space. So trying to wait a whole minute is so difficult with adults.
Yeah. I would agree.
So funny.
Yeah.
Right. This one was one that I haven't fully
We're still
got
talking
it.
through it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But like in the beginning,
Oh,
because
okay.
we talk about this in the course too. Okay.
We do.
Do you want to introduce it and then talk about it so that
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
go ahead.
So what we find typically, we already discussed, right? Some folks show up to the course and they must be there. Sometimes, this is another thing that we see quite often, is folks show up and they're like, I have this immediate problem with this child right now and I need it to be addressed and I need to know 1, 2, 3 how to fix it, and I'm going to go back to my space tomorrow with this child and everything will be fine. And the thing about responsive caregiving is that in the beginning, it feels really nebulous and hard to hold on to and hard to be like X plus Y equals Z. But what we know after spending our time together and having the conversations that we have and exploring different things that we learn about children's brains and about what's developmentally appropriate and about ourselves as we're reflecting, by the time we get to the end of the course, then there's actually a pretty solid understanding of how to address some of those situations. But it's not something that we can just do, boom, right now,
Right.
week 1, right?
Right.
It doesn't happen. Was that kind of the explanation you were
yeah.
looking for?
And so we're wrapping up a course right now, and we get to see this phenomenon every semester where they have very specific questions, they have very specific babies in mind, and we're like, we hear you, you've got to trust the process, like stick with us, stay with us. And now that we're in the last couple of weeks of the course, I'm hearing more of, oh, I know what I'm going to do to address these things in my space, and here's how I want to like connect with this specific child,
Yeah.
and so I do kind of want to address. I know we've talked about it before, and I want to just talk about it again. Of we're stretching this out for
Yes,
the
we are.
podcast,
Mm-hmm.
stretching it out much further so you have more time, so it doesn't take up a lot of time. You get to like think about things a little further, kind of experiment with things in your space, in your homes, wherever you are. So just keep staying full of wonder. I love the I wonder part of what we do. Stay full of wonder. Understand that I'm not expecting everybody to come out as neuroscientists, although if we could get a
That would be
neuroscientist,
amazing.
I want to talk to a neuroscientist. But that's so just stick with us, I guess. Keep
Yes.
wondering.
Yes, absolutely. I think, especially in the information age, the way it is now, like we've talked before, there's quite the age gap between my two children. And when I had my daughter, there wasn't Google. There weren't cell phones, and so I feel like where we are right now in the world, there is information overload, and there can be a tendency to like, I have this problem, I want a solution right now, and for it to just be an expectation of that. And this is one of those things that we're talking about where hopefully over time you will come along with us, and maybe we'll look at things a little bit differently, and we'll have these wonderful moments of connection with a young child in your life. But we understand if right now it kind of feels vague and amorphous, because it is at the beginning. But we're glad you're here, and we hope you come along for the ride. Yeah.
Do we want to ask any questions this week?
Ooh, that is a good question.
If you haven't sent us any feedback at thegoldenthreadcast@gmail.com, tell us why.
Tell us why. Tell us why you were not asking questions. Because that is one of the other questions we've received is, we thought your podcast was going to be longer. So did we. But we also know that learning and growth happens through these like back and forth exchanges. And so we are waiting to hear from all of you about what you are wondering or what you're experiencing. And then we want to use that as a jumping off point for our conversations.
Because when we're facilitating, the thing we like really latch onto, we really hold to as one of our philosophies of the course is the person doing the talking is the person doing the learning, which is how do we translate that into a digital content media, you know? So this is something that we're kind of talking over and mulling over and trying to figure out. And I feel like as we get more feedback, we can think a little bit more on it. I think it's going to take us some time to figure out how we can instill that who's talking gets to learn into this resource.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that's definitely one of those things I've been wondering about. And I almost made t-shirts that said the person doing the talking is the person doing the learning. Love that.
Can we just put all of our sayings on t-shirts?
Yes, we can. That is a thing. We can totally do that. Yes. But that being said, right, our whole thing and what we do is being responsive. And if nobody's reaching out, we have nothing to be responsive to except for one another. And we do have great things to talk about, but it has meaning when it's coming from outside of us. I mean, we bring lots of meaning and passion, but we'd love to hear what's going on for people who have young children in their lives and are just wondering. Yeah.
Maybe that's something we can do here, this training at this statewide, is just ask us questions.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's just gather some questions.
Let's gather some questions. We can do that.
We'll get the party started.
We will get it started. You are welcome to join anytime. But yes, we can get the party started. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate our time together. Thanks for inviting me into your workspace.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. And let's see, what are we going to talk about next time?
Next will be our first foray into the kind of second set of experiences.
The second round. Okay, so we will start out next time thinking about what you as adults in young children's lives already know about how to meet their needs, and just how we're here to encourage you and give you credit where credit is due, because you already know what your child needs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. Thank you.